p.m. Eastern. First, let's start off with some news here on the show, and then we'll get to some sports betting as well. This is surrounding the upcoming Olympic Games here, which is really fascinating, considering that we're talking about travel here, which is crucial to the upcoming Olympic Games. There's a report that says the U.S. travel system is not ready for the upcoming Olympics in a couple of years. The U.S. travel system, according to this report, inadequately equipped for the millions of visitors expected to visit the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which is coming up right around the corner, and the 2028 Summer Olympics. And this is a report from a nonprofit representing the travel industry. It's called the U.S. Travel Association report that says that 40 million people could potentially visit the U.S. for the World Cup, the Olympics and Paralympics, and even the Ryder Cup, and they're not equipped necessarily to be able to handle this travel. So again, this is an independent report. I'm sure the U.S. will refute this. Naturally, keep an eye to see if the U.S. steps up their game in order to get things going in the right way. As far as the college football playoff system is concerned, we're headed toward a change. I don't think there's any question about that before we get to the beginning of the regular season and even into the summer. The SEC and the Big Ten are going to introduce a new change to the seeding for the 2025 playoffs next week. No more automatic buys for conference champions. So such as teams like Boise State, they don't get an automatic bye. In a move that will require unanimous vote, the Big 12 and the ACC are going to battle this because they're going to want their teams getting automatic buys regardless of where they're ranked. Needless to say, it does seem like the SEC and the Big Ten are driving the bus here. Stay tuned. National Football League free agency is set to begin, and we're going to see more money spent than ever before. The salary cap is going up again in the range of $277.5 million, maybe up to $281. Last year's cap, $255. So yes, it will increase by $30 million this year, $20 million the year before. Buckle up. Your favorite backup quarterback about to get paid, or two, or three. That's the way it works in the NBA. Some bad news for the Milwaukee Bucks. It was reported this morning that Bobby Portis has been suspended for 25 games for the use of performance-enhancing drugs, or basically what's called the anti-drug policy. A statement has been released by Portis' agent, said that it was a mistake. This is usually the MO for these players and these agents. Toradol is the drug of choice, apparently here, a recovery drug. Portis will miss the next 25 games. That puts him out essentially for the rest of the regular season and maybe even the postseason in the NBA. Meanwhile, last night, the NBA did return. There was one game, the Los Angeles Lakers, 12.5-point favorites, and they end up losing to the Charlotte Hornets. What a huge disappointment here as you see the final score, 100-97, as the Hornets end up taking this one. Sometimes this happens. First game out of the box in the NBA, and indeed it happened yesterday. Not the best game for both Luka and LeBron, but needless to say, LeBron did his part. Some others did not. Luka, LeBron talked about the loss after the game.
I think it was good, obviously, like I said, I'm getting a little time just to adjust to everything. But I think it was fine today. I think we had some good opportunities to make shots, but we didn't make any shots, especially me. So, just get a little time to get used to it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's gonna be it every night. Obviously, myself and Luka AR, we're gonna draw so much attention. Myself and Luka, we're gonna get double teamed a lot, and our guys got to be recipients and be ready to shoot, drive, or pass. It's easy. It's an easy game after that.
In college hoops, the number 4 team in the country goes down last night. Alabama's got to fix that defense, I think, before the NCAA tournament. Missouri put 110 on them last night. 110-98 the final. Mark Mitchell had 31 points for the Tigers. Mizzou went on a 12-0 run. They never looked back. Needless to say, it was not a great defensive performance for Alabama, and their head coach said that they could have used less turnovers as well.
We gave them 12 steals. They scored off them. We didn't do a great job prepping our guys for their pressure, and they do a good job at it. But, you kind of look at some effort stuff. I mean, Caleb Grill ends up with 25 points, but he had 10 rebounds. I mean, he had more rebounds than nobody had more rebounds than him on our team. Diabate's the only guy that had. I mean, Diabate had 10. Nobody else had more than 4. So for our entire front court to, have 3 and 2, Jaren had 4 for their guard, to out rebound isn't that bad. I just think they wanted this game a little bit more tonight, which is a little bit disappointing because we still had a lot riding on this game. I mean, we were still in full control of our own destiny with the league championship. You know, had we won out, we no longer are. And Missouri deserves a lot of credit for it. So,
yeah, I think right now Alabama has got to get things more figured out because their state mates, Auburn, just keeps rolling. Now, this was a tough game for them last night, 67-60. The Tigers end up winning. Johnny Broome had 16 points, 13 rebounds. Not the cleanest game in this one. They couldn't hit a lot of threes, but Bruce Pearl, after the game, talked about the defensive performance. Sometimes you just got to play these type games to win.
Because Arkansas is so good defensively and such a great rim protecting team. And, you know, our offense left a lot to be desired tonight. Our execution wasn't very good. I don't think our shot selection was great. When you only have 11 assists and 12 turnovers, I don't think we shared it as well as we have been. And but our guys competed. They did not let the fact that we weren't making shots and playing well offensively, you know, affect their defense. Holding Arkansas to 60 points is significant. At the same time, I'm sure John probably they missed they had a bunch of good looks. They had some open shots that if they go down, it's a different outcome. So.
Big win also yesterday for St. John's. They played DePaul. They crushed them, 82-58 the final. Also, Kentucky beats Vanderbilt, final 82-61. Those are some of the marquee games yesterday. Now, over in the Big Ten, Zach Hicks had 19 points. Penn State beat Nebraska. Final score, 89-72, ending a 7-game skid. West Virginia beats Cincinnati 62-59. R.J. Davis in North Carolina beat NC State in that matchup 97-73. And Oregon, in a very close game, goes on the road and beats Iowa by 2. Some news from Major League Baseball this morning as the New York Yankees have just announced that they have extended their manager, Aaron Boone, for the next 2 seasons. So Boone ball continues in the Bronx. Meanwhile, John Means, recovering from Tommy John surgery, once upon a time the Orioles ace, is now pitching for the Guardians. He has a team option for next season. It's unknown as to whether or not he will pitch this season. Also, the Nationals make a pitching move. Lucas Sims signs with them to a 1-year contract. Also, the new look A's, Sacramento, however you want to call the A's, looks like they're going to sign, according to The Athletic, Lawrence Butler, who had a nice year last year, 22 home runs for them, to a contract extension. And would you believe that spring training does begin today? 3:05 Eastern out in Arizona, the 2 teams that are playing overseas, they're going to go at it between the Cubs and Dodgers. By the way, the starter today for the Cubs will be Cody Poteet, and for the Dodgers, it will be Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And so spring training officially gets underway.